Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back for another day of working on the kids' woodland room renovation. If you're new here, I'm Ty Lynn. I've been working on kind of giving my kids' room a fun woodland makeover the last few months. It was supposed to be weeks, but it's been months because sometimes things just take longer than you think they're going to, right? But today I'm getting started on their closet, which is the final piece of the room. So once I'm done with the closet, I can get the whole thing staged and all wrapped up and show you guys the big final reveal. So first, let me show you what it looks like right now and yeah, what I'm starting with. There's already pretty good shelving in here. I mean, I would say overall a really good use of the space. There's even shelves over on that inside edge. So no wasted space. I just want to adjust things a little bit to make it work better for two kids since we have two kids in here, but then also keeping in mind that I want it to be able to grow with the kids. So as their clothes change size and we have different things to store in here, just making that an easy transition. I don't want to get too crazy with the built-ins because those are a lot harder to change in the future. But I think I came up with something that's going to work really nicely and then just overall organizing it a little bit better. All right, let's get started. I'm going to start with cutting out the bottom of this cube organizer, and I really like this here. I think it's a good spot for baskets and just kind of a catch-all, but it's a little bit too long. So I want to be able to put two dressers in here, one for each kid when it's all said and done. So I'm just going to cut the bottom of this piece out. I'm just going to use a flush cut saw, well, probably a combination of saws. Let's just see what I end up using. We'll start with the flush cut saw and then we'll go from there. Okay, that worked way better than the flush cut saw. I bought one of these. It's just the Dremel Multi-Max oscillating tool. But I bought one when I was doing the floors in our last house because I had to cut under all the door jambs. And it is like the handiest little thing. So definitely worth the investment. And it's perfect for situations like this when you got a tight space and you're trying to make a flush cut. So since there's not a shelf on this side, I'm just going to clamp a little scrap board as kind of a guide for the blade, just so when the blade comes through it doesn't cut at an angle up this way or anything. I just want to have something on this side kind of blocking it. I like to use a taping knife to protect the wall when I'm prying anything off a drywall. So trim is a lot of times when I use it, but these shelves is also a good example. But it just helps disperse the load a little bit. If you just use the pry bar, once you put pressure on it, it'll just pop right through the drywall. So this helps protect it. It's also really thin, so you can use it to kind of work behind the piece you're trying to get off. And then you can fit your pry bar under it a little bit easier. Now, I don't use this taping knife anymore for mudding or taping just because I've used it for prying a lot of things off drywall and it does have a little bit of a bend in it now. So something to keep in mind, you probably want a separate one for demo than what you use for any drywall work. All right, everything's looking really good in the closet so far. I'm all finished up with the demo, so I'm just gonna head out and sand and stain these shelves really quick. These are the shelves from that inside edge. You'll probably want to go back in the house, honey. It's gonna get really loud for a minute.
Why?
Well, I'm just gonna sand these boards really quick.
Okay.
All right, I'll be in a minute.
Okay.
I'm gonna stain these with a chestnut gel stain, and this is the color I've been using for a lot of the pieces in their room. It's one of my favorite ones, kind of a nice, warm, medium brown. But first, I'm gonna hit them with a pre-stain, and this just helps the wood soak in the stain evenly and prevents blotchiness. I let the stain dry, and now I'm just finishing these up with a quick coat of this satin polyacrylic, and it's just a water-based finish, and you don't necessarily have to do it since these are closet shelves. They're not going to be exposed to a lot of temperature changes or water, anything like that, but I just like to give them a quick coat to kind of seal the wood a little bit. This water-based finish I think goes on a lot smoother, and especially with something like this, you don't need quite the intense protective coating as like an oil-based finish. Really, I just don't use polyurethane that much anymore at all. I used to use it a lot when I was first kind of getting started and learning how to do all this, but now I really do prefer those hard wax oils. Rubio Monocoat makes some really good stuff. And then otherwise I'll just use these water-based finishes for simple projects like this. Okay, we're on to day 2, and this is the damage in the room so far. Has to get worse before it gets better, right? Yikes. Today I'm gonna give the closet a fresh coat of paint just to clean it up a little bit. Okay, the paint is dry in the closet and the stain is dry on the shelves, so we are ready to put this place back together. Not gonna lie, I considered just closing the closet doors and pretending this wasn't here when I did the room reveal, but I promised myself that I wasn't gonna do that again. When I did our last house, I did the kid room makeovers, but I didn't do the closets for like 6 months afterwards. And when I finally came back around and did the closets, it made such a huge difference in the rooms that I promised myself I wouldn't. So as much as I want to wrap this project up, I am glad that I pushed through and gave the closet a little bit of a revamp. There's a lot more space in here and it's just better organized. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I also wanted to make it easy to transition to more of an adult closet as the kids get older. So the dressers are really easy to take out and can put a shoe rack in the bottom, something like that. And then I left this long section for dresses. So when the dressers aren't in here anymore, you can still hang dressers over here. So I didn't want to get too crazy with like building a whole system in here, because sometimes then ends up being more trouble than it's worth in the long run if you have to redo the closet. So I'll be back next time with the big room reveal, and I was planning to have this room done before Christmas, so It's so close, right? So close. No, but I am super excited to show you guys how everything is coming together. So don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time.